All right, I think we are live. I try to get some stuff up prior to going live, but I figured it was already 2 o'clock Eastern time, so we're at least get it up, and then I can make the adjustments as um, I'm getting set up. So let's see if we got some people jumping in. Cool. Awesome. So yeah, we got some people coming in. So if I can have you guys do me a favor, please let me know that you can see me and also hear me loud and clear. Want to make sure everything is good, and we can go ahead and get started. Today's topic is going to be about how to build out your SEO campaign. One of the things that I've started to notice when I do my one-on-one strategy calls and we talk about backlinks, really beginning to see there's really no written plan or written out project other than just following the 3 lead per day training. So today I figured, let me help you get that organized, because I think that when you get organized, you begin to realistically understand. You can monitor and create milestones each and every month to know that you're hitting those. And it's to me, it's good to visually see every month what needs to be done. Because one of the biggest things that I'm seeing is a lot of people don't realize that SEO is an ongoing process. It's not just one of those things you do once and then you're done. Now, in some smaller markets, you could do a few backlinks and a few social links, some blog posting, and that will get you running and possibly on page 1. But that's not going to always be the case. So at least by putting out putting a project in front of you that's organized, then you can visually see the entire plan, I guess, if you want to say. So that's what we want to discuss. And I think this is something that we're also going to hopefully implement into the 3 lead per day training as well. So I'm not sure about that. I'm going to run that by the team and see if we can make it happen. So at least you have something there. So like I said, right now, awesome. Chuck and Corey, great. Can see you and hear you. Hey, Chuck, how you doing? So let me get organized here. Like I said, I had to finish up a conversation and get that all organized. So let's see. I'm gonna move this over here a little bit closer. Man, I'm all over the place today. All right, cool. All right, so before we get started, maybe this will kind of help everyone dive into as well, is how many of you are doing SEO and also doing SEO on your own? Okay, so if you are, this call is going to be the right call for you. So now, if you're not doing SEO, you're not. That's not part of the thing. This is probably not the call to be on. And now I'm not trying to push you off this call, but you probably can use this time wisely to maybe do some other marketing or get some other stuff done if you haven't done that yet. So, or if you want to just stick around because you have questions, we can tackle those as well. So awesome. Let's go ahead and get started. Let me just go ahead and switch over to the screen. Alrighty. All right. Awesome. Okay, let's just go ahead and do this. Present. All right. I think we are good there. Again, sorry about this, guys. Cool. All right. I think we are good to go. Cool. All right. So awesome. So again, this call is going to be about building out your SEO project. Okay. So if you have the 3 lead per day training and you haven't gotten started, it's probably because you didn't really properly plan what exactly that you need to get done or where you should start. Even though you have the 3 lead per day training as a guide, a lot of times what keeps us from structuring, from really, I guess, carrying out any type of implementation is really a plan. And also what structure, what what tool are you using to follow that plan. Okay, so SEO is really no different with that. So that's what we're going to talk about, is how to build out your SEO projects. So cool. So we got Chuck, Grace, awesome. So let's go ahead and move on. So new content to check out, just a few housekeeping stuff before we get started. A few new episodes in the Carrot Cast, which is when to quit your job with passive cash flow with Clayton Moores. Got a chance to see Clayton speak up in Salt Lake City, Utah, probably a few months back. So that was really great to see his, to really learn about his journey and to see where he's at. Getting into the real estate investing world, from really coming from Fox. He was a pretty well-known personality with Fox, and so it's really cool to kind of see someone mainstream, I guess you could say, come into the real estate world, and he shares his experience there. Also, brand new over on the blog, in our blog section, is why is my real estate website not showing up in Google? Find out how search engine works. So great information there. Now, again, there's going to be some stuff that you just have to really kind of learn, kind of know where you're at. Now, Google really tends to move around a lot. There's times to where your website may fall off of Google, which is normal in some cases. So, if you have any questions off of that blog post, obviously feel free to content in that blog post section. So also get rich but not quick with Carrot client Edward Beck. Pretty cool Carrot Cast there that was done with Ed. So pretty cool. So check out those two Carrot Casts. And also, if you have not subscribed to Carrot Cast, please check them out and subscribe first, and then leave us some feedback and rate us and whatever we can do, because we like to take that feedback also to just really look for ways to make things better, touch on topics that you guys are interested in most. So if you guys can do that, that would be great. But again, check out this new content over on the Carrot Cast and also on our blog section. So weekly dose of awesomeness. This is a picture from my last week. It was our first edition Carrot Camp. I know I did a lot of Facebook Live, some Instagram stuff from that event, and it was super awesome. It was just really cool to see what everyone, really, I guess a few handful of Carrot members are doing some awesome stuff. We all went up to Roseburg, Oregon, got a chance to hang out at the Loft, which is headquarters to Investor Carrot. And it was a lot of fun. We got a chance to do some outdoor stuff, and then got a chance to just really break down the needs, and also just some takeaways from things that are working. So it was a really awesome mastermind that I was privileged to kind of be a part of, and just kind of see what other Carrot members are doing in their particular market. And it's just really privileged to sit down and find ways to take them to the next level. So this is the group of guys from that. So if you guys are interested in the next one, I'm not sure when that date will be, but be a great opportunity. I can personally vouch that this is a great investment. Definitely worth it if you really want to take really not just your online lead generation, but also your business to the next level. So look out for the next Carrot Camp edition. But just wanted to share this picture and really make that our weekly dose of awesomeness. So a lot of great feedback, and I'm sure you guys will be seeing some content and more information on this past event. So super cool. All right. So, okay, what happened here? All right, cool. Let's see. I might have brought up the wrong one. Give me just a second. All right, let's see. All right, yeah, that was really okay. All right, let's take a look here. All right, so yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So what we're going to talk about today is really going to be about I'm not sure what this. Let's see. All right, cool. All right. might have accidentally put that in there. So anyways, your coach, again, my name is Adrian. As you probably see my, me coming up in the camera before this started. So, but I'm head of customer strategy with Investor Carrot. Been doing this for a couple of years now. And really my experience and success comes from being, first of all, a Carrot member, a paying customer with Investor Carrot. And Investor Carrot has really, really kind of changed my entire wholesale business. We generate leads 100% off of the internet. I'm in multiple markets, and we're doing pretty good amount of deals each and every month. So that's who I am. Don't want to waste too much. Don't want to spend too much time on that. But yeah, so let's dive right in. So if this is the first time on this call, this is your first coaching call, please let me know. Just send through your name and information, and just send it through the little chat box there on your right. Just let me know. And again, let me know also that you guys can see and hear me. I know I just switched over to the slides. So if someone can let me know you can see me, and also, or the slides fine. And also you guys can hear me fine. We'll make sure, let's get going. All right, let's see. Cool. All right. All right, so what I want to talk about today is, if you guys have any questions, again, please let me write those questions down, send them through. But this call is going to be primarily about how to build out your SEO project. It's not going to be a long call. We want to make sure that we're touching on just the basics, right? So to me, when you get started on something, that's when things begin to happen. So many times we stop from taking action because, one, we have no clear plan. We have no structure. We don't have it written down somewhere. And that was one of my struggles for a very long time, because I'm a quick start guy. I'm not really follow through. So I really struggle with that. So a lot of my knowledge, a lot of my information is in my head. I've really had to learn how to put it down on paper. So, so again, this call is going to be very, very basic. I'm going to introduce you to what we use, and also how you can build that out. And then, just get started. Don't get too caught up in the whole technicality, because sometimes we can go down a rabbit's hole and spend way too much time on the planning. So you have to have that balance between planning and just simply taking action. So we're going to talk about that. But at the end of the training call, we'll answer any questions that you have regarding the training, or any strategy related questions, or any questions that you might have in your own implementation of what you're doing or where you're at the moment. So send them through, and then we can go from there. So what we're going to cover today is, again, how to organize your SEO project, how to get your team, and if you're using a VA, on the same page, assigning the right tasks to the right people, and then what tools and resources you can use to implement SEO. And really, we're going to condense this into a project management system. If you've never heard of, you've never heard of a project management system, I mean, there's definitely plenty of things, plenty of stuff out there that you can use. So for an example, if you were to do project management software, there's definitely plenty of software out there that you can use. Okay, I mean, there's no shortage of project management. These are great resources to really use to set up everything. So now I know a lot of times you can use a simple doc, whether it's a Word or Google Doc, but I don't know. I'm really a big fan of using a software that is really specifically for projects. Okay, because first of all, you can assign the right people. Okay, sometimes doing a document is just not going to cut it, because there's really no structure. I mean, you can really get fancy with a document. I know a lot of people that can pretty much create anything out of documents or spreadsheets, but most of us realistically are probably not there. We need something to get us going, because most of us are way too busy doing other stuff than to try and build out your own system. So why not go out and just use something that's already really kind of meant for projects? So so there's plenty of projects out there. I've used Basecamp. We use Basecamp for some of the real estate stuff and marketing stuff. But I wanted to kind of just use this whole thing as So what we're going to do today is just kind of use Asana as a project, because one thing with Asana, it's free. There's a lot of cool basic features that you can use in Asana that you can utilize, and there's no charge, which is really, really, really cool. So that's what we're going to go with. So with that said, though, how many people have their SEO project lined out, whether you're using documents or maybe you're already using a project management tool? Let me know how many people actually have using something to head up their SEO. And if you don't, let me know that as well. This is what this call is for. So I kind of want to see where everybody's at. Maybe you're already using something. So let me know what that is. But how many of you are using a project management software for your business, or in this case, your marketing, and then also your SEO? And that's a cool thing too. I was going to mention, even though we're talking about project management software in this call, and we're talking about SEO, you can totally use this tool also for your other marketing. Okay, so we can kind of dive into that a little bit. So, but please, those of you on this call, let's participate. Would love for you to give some feedback. So let me know who's using one. Even if you're not using any, please let me know that as well. I kind of want to gauge where everybody's at, so I at least know exactly where we should focus our time on this call, because I don't want to cover something to where all of you may be past that. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. But what I'm going to go ahead and do is, oh, awesome. Okay, so Corey, awesome. Corey, this is our first one. Just started last week. Awesome, Corey. We welcome you to, first of all, welcome you to Investor Carrot, and welcome you to your first coaching call. Hopefully we'll see you on these calls each and every week. So, and Corey, if you let us know if you need anything. I know getting started, there's certain things that we throw your way as far as what you should be doing first, next. But if you're ever stuck, please reach out to support at any time. And we want to make sure as you get started that you're moving right along. But just want to welcome you. So awesome. Cool. Awesome. Cool. All right. Awesome. No, I'm glad we're doing this call, because it looks like everyone is not really using anything. And then some of you are actually outsourcing your SEO. But I think even if you guys are outsourcing your SEO, this project management software is really great, just even to implement into your overall marketing. So we'll kind of discuss that here shortly too. So Henrik, awesome. First time on a coaching call. Awesome. Welcome you as well to your first coaching call, Henrik. And again, same thing. If you're just getting started, please reach out to support on anything that you might be getting stuck on, or if there's anything we can do in helping you getting started. We want to make sure we do that. So, but again, welcome to your first coaching call. Rose, first coaching call. How do I ask questions? Yeah. So actually, this is Rose. You're doing it. I see your questions. So any questions, anything that you want to ask, you just send it through the same chat that you sent that last question. So you're in the right place, and I do see your question coming through. So you're perfectly fine. All right. Hey, Alex, awesome to have you on the call. Violet, same place you just did. So I can see your question, and that's where you would continue to send through any messages or questions that you have. So Violet, I can I don't know you might have just chose some type of name, but Violet Knight is your name. So I do see your question. So just the same way that you ask that question, that's how you ask questions. So hopefully that makes sense, but you're in the right place. I can hear you, or I can not hear. I don't hear you. Don't get me wrong. I seen your message. So awesome. So let me just make sure. Awesome, Sarah. Man, a lot of newbies today. I'm kind of really excited about it. So Sarah, I can see your question come through fine. So just keep doing what you're doing. So no need to change anything. I can see your question. So just continue to use the same chat box that you're communicating right now. Okay, and let me know that you see that. Okay. Awesome. So, man, so many things coming through. So, all right. Du-du-du. Du-du-du. Ba-ba-ba. Awesome. John, awesome. Man, so many people on this call. Tang, hey Tang, how you doing, buddy? Tang was one of the handful of investors that was at the Carrot Camp. So awesome, Tang, to have met you. It was a good time. Let's just say that during Carrot Camp and after Carrot Camp. So Tang Tang was a lot of fun to hang out with, brother. All right, cool. Yes, you are. You are on the coaching call, and yes, you are in the correct place to ask questions. Just send through your questions the same way that you just sent through that question. Cool. All right. Thanks. I'm brand new. Don't have an SEO plan and not using any project management software. Cool. Awesome. So let's go ahead and get started. So what we're gonna do is I'm going to introduce you guys to Asana. Okay. I'm already signed in, but what I'm going to do is go ahead and introduce you to Asana. So here's Asana. I'm going to go ahead and just log out for a quick minute. Okay. Introduce you guys. So this is Asana here. So I recommend this one because one, it's free. Okay. So there's a lot of features that you can use. Okay, so Asana is what I recommend to everyone on this project. Okay, so and here's the cool thing: Asana is going to be really awesome. Not just for your SEO, but really in your overall business, right? So, and I'm sure as you dive in, starting with your SEO and your marketing, you'll find other opportunities to use this tool to kind of keep, especially one of the things we talked about at Carrot Camp was we talked about team building, how to really keep your projects moving along. And we didn't really get a chance to touch on a project management tool. And that kind of gave me the idea to do this call for all of our Carrot members. So I'm going to use Asana as as this example. So pricing, these guys are really good. So really all you guys need right now is free. Okay, so all the basic tools and functions, it's all you need in the free features. Okay, so now if you guys get more advanced, you're doing a lot more, then obviously then you can look at some other, into the next plan. But for now, just go with the free version. Okay, so so that's pretty cool. So what we're gonna do, let's go ahead and dive in. Like I said, I want to make this call very short, and how this is going to work really is going to depend on. Let me just put in get cash. Get my own domain at times. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and sign in. So I already have that set up. So yeah, it looks like cool. So it looks like I have says high rise. Okay, so I know high rise. So one thing too, I want to make sure that we don't get confused is when I'm talking about project management, we're not really talking about a CRM. Okay, a CRM is going to be more geared towards helping you handle your follow-up system. Like I use Podio, okay, for my CRM. So we're not talking about a CRM. What we're talking about is utilizing a project management software tool that can help you organize your internal processes, marketing, or task. Okay, so it really has nothing to do with what you're going to use to communicate or deal with motivated sellers. Okay, so we're not talking about a CRM. Okay, I don't want to get too techy, but we're not talking about CRM. Someone just mentioned they use high rise, and that I'm glad they brought it up because I know high rise, I believe, is a CRM. I could be wrong, but again, just wanted to clarify, we're not talking about CRM. So no, Grace, this does not integrate with the Carrot system. This is simply a project management tool. Okay, something that it's not really. This is not a lead generation tool. It's just really a place to where you can organize what you have to get done. Okay, so and we'll use some examples to kind of get to that. So I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. All right, so man, I'm glad we're doing this because I'm getting so much feedback that a lot of people just are not doing this. So, but great. So here's kind of the thing. So let's just talk about SEO. Okay, so if you go into the 3 lead per day training, obviously we have a big where you start, where you begin. What I like to call foundational. Right, these are some of the things that you kind of want to get out of the way before you really start diving into the ins and outs of SEO. And SEO is really broken up into 2 sections, which is on-page optimization and then off-page optimization. On-page is simply when all the things that you have more control of on your website. So that's making sure that your title tag, your content, your blog post, all that is in line with optimizing. Okay, so and then the off page is going to be more, like backlinks, social signals, press release. I mean, those are some examples of some off page. So as you kind of get started with this, so many times people just kind of go through here not knowing where to start, or what are some other things too that we do. And also too, as many of you are jumping on these calls each and every week, a lot of times you might see something that, man, I need to do that. That's something I need to implement. Okay, so you need a place. You should have a place to where you're putting those tasks. I mean, to me, it's just not a good idea just kind of jotting down. Now, some of us are really good at just writing things down on a piece of paper. Then we organize it that way, which is perfectly fine. Like whatever works. Again, the goal is not to take you down a rabbit's hole to where you guys perfect how you manage your tasks. Okay, this is just, but it's giving you an idea on how you should, just to make things easier for you. Okay, so what we want to do is just structure and set up how to do that. And we're going to use, again, an SEO as an example. So again, this is really, really basics, basics, very, very basic. And I'm just going to cover just, again, just the basics. And we're not going to dive in, into the advanced stuff, just really, really basic stuff. And this is great if you guys are using a team, whether it's a 2-person team, it is still highly, highly recommended. Especially if you're using a VA, you can invite them into these projects. So I'm going to go ahead and use, so I set this up earlier. So there's really kind of 2 ways to set this up. Okay. So, so here's kind of, so really there's 2 ways to do this. You can really do it the simple way, which is, like right here, and we're talking about SEO. Okay. So, foundational task. Okay. So, and then you can, here's your main task, and then you can create subtask. Okay. So then now if you needed to kind of put more details on each task, you can leave a note and do that. So kind of like a 3-tier setup. But as I kind of was diving into this, I didn't really, because I personally use a different project management system, but we're going to start switching over to Asana. I just like really the functionality of this. So anyway, so you can go as basic as just like, for example, SEO, like month 1, that could be your main task. And then in the subtasks, you set up the different things that you need to do, like on page, schedule your blog posts, start on your backlinks, do your social signals. Okay. So you can build it out to where month 2, 3, 4, and 5. The reason why I think you map out your SEO project is realistically, it shows you expectations. Okay. Because in some markets, some of you, SEO is going to be a 12-month project. That's just the reality of it. I know in some markets, it might be 6 months. It really depends. And for me, it depends on 2 things. How big is your area, like population wise? And then also, how competitive is it in your market with other investors? Okay. So those kind of Because really, when you look at it, when you're in a market to where there's other people trying to have the same objectives as you, it is a harder task because everyone has a jump on you. Okay, so like for an example, John's a good example. John, he was having his SEO worked on in his particular market, and it took, I believe it was 6 or 7 months for him just to get to page 1. Okay, so and that's the thing, guys. The objective of SEO is get to page 1. Okay, so because without being on page 1, you're not going to have traffic. Just because you're doing SEO, just because you're optimizing, doesn't equate to leads. Okay, the objective of SEO is to take you from where you're at. You could be on page 3, you could be on page 7, depending where you're at. The objective is to get your site from wherever you are to page 1, because page 1 is where you need to be to get consistent leads. Okay, so that's objective 1. The next objective is, once you do get to page 1, you got to command the highest possible rankings or position, because positioning can make all the difference. For an example, if you're the #1 position website, you're going to command about 30% of traffic. Okay, so for an example, if 100 people did a search for that particular keyword that you're ranking for, 100 people did a search, you're going to get about 30 people coming to your website. Okay, so that's 30%. The second position website, let me just show you. So I'll just say we buy houses, Los Angeles. Let's use that as an example. So right here, so the #1 position website is going to command about 30%. Okay, and we're talking about organic. We're not talking about ads. Okay, we're talking about organic. The #1 position website is going to command about 30% of traffic. Okay, the #2 position website will command about 17, 20%, and then each position down, that percentage goes down. And what I mean by that, so the last position website, which these again are Craigslist and also LinkedIn, these if you're number 10, you're probably only going to get about 2% of traffic, and then pretty much it's non-existent if you're on page 2. Okay, so you got to be on page 1. So that's the objective: is 1, get to page 1. That right there that's an accomplishment in itself. The next thing to do is, once you get to page 1, now you need to move the website up. Now, I will say that the real work really begins on page 1. In my opinion, getting to page 1 is the easy part. Okay, it's really getting the top position on page 1 that's the hard part, because everyone on page 1 is doing something right, something that Google sees has value, that they're on page 1, because Google is just not going to put you on page 1 just for the heck of it, or just because time passes. Okay, there's a lot of different things that play a role in what helps your website progress. But page 1, because remember, page 1 is where I kind of say page 1 is like holy grail to Google. Okay, you just won't land on page 1 unless you prove yourself to Google. Okay, that's why the idea with SEO is to build authority. So what that means is Google's customers is not me or you. Their customers are the people doing the search. That's who they're trying to make happy. They're not trying to make me or you happy. The people that have websites, we're trying to prove ourselves to them. Okay, so what we want to do is make sure that Google can trust us enough to where they promote us. That's why SEO is a process. That's why it takes time. Obviously you also want to have a website that's SEO friendly, which each and every one of you do. You do have a SEO friendly site through Carrot. That's what we built it for. You have to have enough content, and the content that's already in place is great. Now we do encourage you to edit and modify that, but everything with the Investor Carrot system gives you a great jump start on the process. Okay. So, that again, that's kind of really quick breakdown on SEO and why it takes time. So a lot of times, what happens is I have people jumping on the call, on one-on-one strategy call, and say, "Hey, I went through the 3 lead per day training. I went through it, but well, my website's not doing anything." And I said, "Okay, how long have you been doing this?" "Oh, I just went through it once and I'm done." So and I think a lot of that just comes from lack of planning. So, and really not having that visual. So I think by actually building out your website for 12 months, because that's what we do when I've worked with clients, is we bill out their project for 12 months. Okay. And then each month we assign specific tasks based on where things should be for that particular month. So for an example, as you're getting started using this tool, so I prefer just building out this way. Okay. So I'm just going to use this method here. This is kind of the quick, easy way to get started, where your main task is what you have to do. Then month 1 is a task, and then you just build out subtasks with month 1, which is the easy way. But I really like it this way, because like here, like month 1 is, we build out the tasks under month 1. Okay, so let me just get rid of these and take it with me. So if you guys want to kind of follow along too, you can do that. Just set up your account with Asana. All they're going to have you do is verify your email. That's it. So what I like to do, so foundational tasks. So here's a really easy way to build this out. So these are tasks that I would do before starting my SEO. Okay. So for me, it would be to set up my Google Analytics. Now, technically, you don't have to, because your websites have that built in on the back end of Carrot. But with Google Analytics, I really want to build up data, you know. So 12 months from now, as I'm a little bit better marketer, or I understand everything, I can look back at my last 12 months more in depth than just what we provide on the back end. Okay. So again, this is going to be more advanced, but I personally do believe that you should have a Google Analytics account, and then also a Google Search Console account. Okay. I like Google Search Console because as you begin to drive more traffic, you can kind of begin to see how like, for an example, what's your click-through rate? Okay. Meaning, where are you ranking for certain keywords? And then also how many people are clicking on your website with that keyword, so really, really cool functions that there is with Search Console. So I want to make sure that my site is that. So keyword research, okay? And then also researching the first page of Google in my local market, right? So those are the things. And then also, what are some things that subtasks with that? So, and then month 1, okay, what do I need to do with the on-page optimization? What do I need to do with off-page? Social signals. Actually, social signals should go inside the off-page. So press release too. So I'll fix that. Or maybe blog posts release. Okay. So these are some things that you can do each and every month. So now what I would do is, and then just copy and paste this for the next, I'm just going to say 6 months. That'll give you, so mentally, you're setting up fair expectations on how long this is going to take just by doing this. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, I'm still learning Asana for this particular task. So, let's see, let me see if this works. Perfect. Okay. So I just copy and paste. So I shouldn't have copies there. Cool. All right. Month 1. Out. Okay. So I'm just going to do this. Like, those are going to be the main thing, which is, I'm just using that example. So I'm just going to copy and paste all this, and Again, you're probably going to have to just kind of fix it up a little bit. This 3. Again, some of you may need to build out to 12 months in your market. Okay, so, all right. So these are the things that what you want to do is, so right here, you have your whole SEO project built out, so again, that's one project, right? So and then what you do is like Google Analytics, so what I would do is under this, you have this over here. So then I can start creating subtask, for, okay, what is Google Analytics? So what email do I use for this? Okay. An ID from, I'm just going to abbreviate from Google Analytics. Insert okay. All right, again, just little things like that. So the same thing here. Verify websites. These are just things I'm these are just things that I know that I'm on top of my head. So there should be a lot more, but keyword search, like right here, cool thing is right here is tools to use. Okay. Tools to use. So I'm going to use Google. So if you're using a VA, what you can do is username and password, and then it could be blah blah blah. Whatever so you can leave a username, password in there. Use Google search bar. Then see, like if you guys have these accounts, SEM Rush, and what I would do is put the link. So if you're using a VA, just provide the link to it, and then provide the username. Adrian Rocks, and password is yes, I do. So really cool. So you can provide shortcuts and then provide the information, because here's the thing, like, yeah, I mean, some of you say, well, I don't want to put my password, but at the same time, you're going to only give access to this project to those that you should trust. Okay. So you can totally use this in here. So keyword search. Then from here, one of the things you could do is, let's see. So I'm just thinking, gather keywords from research. Then what you can do is, the cool thing is, like, you can create, like, you'll first of all, you'll invite, like, you can invite your VA in this, or if you have someone in house or someone you're doing it, you can totally put them on the project too. So for an example, I can, I can invite them by email, so, so Kate, I can invite Kate from my team, to this project. And then what I can do is then just basically assign, like, so for me, let's say, here's one of the things I do: research page 1 of all top ranking sites using SEM Rush. We did a coaching call on that. So what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and I'll assign that to me. And I'll put a due date, like, man, this needs to be done on Friday. And then here, what I can do is I can attach. So, and what I can do is in Google, let's say Google, let's say that you can create a Google or let's say your VA created um, a Word document or a Google document, you can actually upload that stuff here, like Google Drive. And so if you guys create a Google Drive folder just for your SEO where you kind of organize your, your research and all the stuff, you can attach it here, okay? Because you'll need it later to do some of the tasks down here, okay? So, so again, right there, this is pretty cool. So from here, let's say I get it done. I can say, okay, there was no, you can just add notes and communicate with your VA or whoever's working on the project, whatever you need to. Okay. So again, cool research. So all these are inside the task. So, and right here, gather, again, same thing. You can totally create a content sheet that you guys can do. So then what happens is now on page optimization, let's just create some subtask, insert additional keywords on homepage. See list for keywords. Then here, you can totally insert that thing here. The research that was done here, you can insert it here. So whoever is assigned this, now they can go into the website and then do all that. Okay, make sure SEO title. The description. Okay. Page. Well, this would probably be that's all the stuff is really not on page SEO. So foundation could be right here. Company page. Testimonials for website. Okay. Then, so then what you do here is create subtasks, testimonials for website, gather all YouTube. Then what you can do here, I mean, if you really want to add notes, what you can do is put place on homepage and testimonial page, some type of thing. So if you plan to use let's say a testimonial on your homepage, you can leave instructions here for this person and on the testimonial page, right? So, and then also, I mean, you can totally, again, if you're using a VA, you can just, make sure you send them a link to that. Say, hey, just to kind of provide as a reference. Okay. So, and then what happens on page? So like on page, what's cool about it is most of the on page optimization, you're going to be done in on month 1. Okay. So what I would do is not even put month 2 as with on page, but maybe in month 4, review rankings and revisit on page, so on page is, so it could be, so I'm doing this so informally too, guys. So redo. SEM Rush. Research. So what I'll do is like, for an example, so let's say that here's the thing that and I'm going to say this, be very careful that you guys are not making a habit of changing out your content, especially on your city, on your home page and your city specific pages. Okay. Don't get in the habit of always changing it out just because you may not be moving along ranking. It's good to review, but doesn't mean that it's time to change. Okay. Because I can totally see some people, let's say you're just in a tough market and you're not ranking as fast as you think you should. But then you start going into your home page and your city page and start revamping. It could just be because you're just in a tough market. So it's just taking time. But at the same time, I think it's good to also review, because my thing is that as you really dive into the SEO, as you dive into marketing, you should also be growing. You should be seeing things that you haven't seen before. So as you review, you might see something that you just had no knowledge of when you first got started. Okay, so it's always good to review things that you can improve on, things that you can make better, things you can tweak. Okay, so again, doesn't mean that this is revamp time. Okay, so it's just things just to review and revisit. Or right here, here's a good one. So setup call with Adrian with Carrot to review backlinks, right? So the cool thing too is, and then right here, go to oncarrot.com, call. Okay, so at least now you have, there. You can do that. And then as you're building out your backlinks, again, what you can do. So let's say you set up, and this makes it even easier for someone to help you too. Like, let's say myself, like, okay, hey, tell me what you've done in the last 4 months. Instead of saying, well, I did this, this, and this, you can go back in your project and say, hey, you know what? In month 1, we did this. Because even though you check these off, there's always going to be available, So OnPage, like, here's a good example. OnPage is going to be backlinks. Okay. So what you're going to do is, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Okay. And then, you can basically create subtask in here, so week 1, so you can set a date, week 1, you could do week of, what's today's date? October 6th. Yesterday was the 16th, so week 1. Okay, so that's going to be tier 1, week 2, week of, whatever that is. Anyways, I don't want to research. So tier 2, week 3, okay, and then week 4, for review. So this could be, so these tasks right here could be like a VA or someone on your team, and then you could be the one that reviews it the following week, however the week it is. So if you guys are gonna do backlinks is really this is gonna be your schedule. Like, this is the way I do. Week 1 is my tier 1, and if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, you need to dive into the 3 lead per day training. Okay. Week 1, because I really, the way I like to do it is by creating 3-tier backlinks. It just gives that viral effect. And it also assures that Google discovers your backlinks. Okay. Um, so I create the tier 1 links for week number 1. Next week, tier 3. Then I finish up with tier 3, and then 4, just review. That's what I do with my team. They build this all out, and then I'm the one that overviews it. Then I can, or I can assign, or if one of the things I've done is here to, so you can do that. So if you want to review what your VA is doing, just set up a task to where, assign it to so-and-so, establish a due date, and then the day after the due date, assign a review, because what they'll do is they'll upload your report here on what they did, and then you can go ahead and review it. And their job would be to download here. Okay. So, okay. So, yeah. So, I mean, really, really, really simple. So, I mean, so you can really go deep with organizing your backlinks. And again, this is great when you're doing it yourself, because now, like or not necessarily doing it yourself, or even if you have VAs doing it for you, at least this is a great way to kind of see everything with the overall big picture of what needs to be done, so then you just kind of build these out, assign people, assign dates, blog post release, meaning, this could be review all available Content Pro articles and publish articles. Okay. And then create a subtask, schedule blog posts to be live. Okay. Then share on Facebook, share on Twitter. What you could do so like me personally, anytime that I publish a blog post, I like to do it weekly. So what you may do is just just build these out for 4 weeks. So this will be week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. Okay. So, because me personally, I'm not a believer in just publishing your blog post and that's it. And I believe you should, as soon as you publish your blog post, you should be also promoting it for the next couple of weeks before you release a new one. Okay. So, I mean, if you're releasing, let's say you want to release 2 articles for the month, schedule it. Okay. So this one could be schedule. So let's say this was, you can schedule this on the 1st. And then this one you can schedule on the 16th. Okay. And then all these, so this will be scheduled again. Let's say, then schedule these out too within this time frame before the next one gets released. Okay. So, yeah, so I mean, that's really, and then what happens? So let's just, I want to make sure that we get enough time. Yeah, man, time's going by so fast. All right. So then what you want to do is, let's say you create another project. Cold calling. I'm just making this up, cold calling. I don't do cold call, by the way, just so you guys know. So same thing. Let's say what you want to do is Craigslist ads. Craigslist ads. So week 1, call all ads. And for sale by owner. Week, week. Oh, so it could be all right. Okay, in week 4, review progress. Again, I'm not saying you do it this way. I'm just trying to give you an idea. Right. So cold calling. So, right. So we'll do, let's say, local newspaper. Same thing. Week 1, ads and for sell by owner section. Yeah, so you can totally do that. So cold calling. Then let's say, what's the next project you can do? Bandit signs. Same thing. Okay, so order signs, and then it could be, whatever. Order signs, give VA. I'm just making this up, guys. Make credit card info. Ship to address. So if you're outsourcing to someone, at least you kind of, ship to. Okay. Okay. So just something like go over process, get pictures, pay them. So that's kind of like, that's a cool thing. So project management doesn't have to, so the way that we're showing you, it doesn't have to just be related just to your SEO project. Obviously, that's what we want to talk to you about first, because it ties into your Investor Carrot website. But you can totally use this tool also to manage all of your marketing. Okay, just to put it in an organized way where you're assigning things, and then you're able to kind of come in here and just oversee and see how things are going. So, and then the other thing too, you as a manager, what you can do is, let's see, I may not be able to do this in, let's see, I'm not sure. So let's say green SEO is red. Bandit signs. I don't know why you would put colors, but at least it's, you know, if you're totally an organized person, which I'm not really, believe it or not, then, you know, so let's say that bandit sign is, let's see, at the dashboard. Okay. Okay, so let's go to dashboard. So the cool thing is here in dashboard, what you can do is really kind of, so let's, I mean, you can put, let's say you guys have 50 projects going, right? So let's say you're responsible for overseeing the SEO project, or let's say you're the manager. You want to make sure you can create this dashboard where you can see where you can get a quick visual of where things are at, which is what I really like about this, you know? So instead of going by due dates, which is fine, this really helps you go through and looks at the thing, you know, overall. So you can kind of see, you know, so if you know, they can update all the information. You can see the progress that's going about, due dates, you know, so it's really, really cool. You're going to get a really quick view of that. So you can see this by, you know, custom, you know, just by due date, by status color, which is cool, you know, alphabetical order. So this really helps you overall. So, you know, inbox, these are all just simple tools. Your tasks. So this would be like anything that's assigned to me, I can see it. So, man, this just makes life a lot easier, right? So, you know, you can create teams. So you can create your you know, whatever that is, different departments. So your SEO team, your bandit sign team, or whatever, you can create teams there as well. So it's pretty cool. Right. So anyways, man, that's really all I wanted to cover, because like I said, it's just really about, you know, organizing your project, not just your SEO project, but organizing your project, you know, regardless if it's SEO, bandit signs, direct mail, you know, and then as you begin to build out your team, as you begin to build out your VAs, if you have them, this is a great place because you can invite them into your project, you know. So now some of you, I think, might have your own system, but this could be a way just to kind of add on to it or just simplify it, you know. So I really like this process. You know, this really helps you get your team and VA on the same page. There's accountability also as well with this, because you now you have assignments, you have things that are assigned, and it's really a good way to keep everyone on task. Okay, so again, assign the right tasks to the right people. You know, so like I did here, you know, my task could be just simply reviewing, because I'm the manager, right? I'm the CEO of my company. I shouldn't really, the goal should be that I'm not being hands-on. Now it could be that, but at least you're organized, right? So where's I going with that? Oh, okay. And then also again, you know, and then inserting your tools and resources right in the project. You know, just I mentioned here, back to the SEO, you know, you can, you know, you can totally create, you know, a link to your account and your user password all from here. Okay. And, you know, provide resources, you know, references, instructions. You can, again, that's the other cool thing, is instructions in Google, you know, Google Docs, which is really, really cool. So, but anyways, I just think it's a great way to get yourself organized, especially if you're going to do SEO, you know. So if you're in a big market, create a 12-month project and then just assign each one into it, you know. Then, you know, even if you're going to use a VA, it's a great way to do that. Then here, you know, using us as a resource, like right there is perfect. Set up a call with Adrian in month 4 to review, you know. And then as I jump on the call with you, I say, hey, what have you done? Because everything's going to depend on that. What have you done? Instead of saying, well, I think I did this or that, you can go through and just see exactly what's been done. Then I can better help you. Say, okay, it might just be, hey, keep doing what you're doing. Just give it more time, right? So a lot of that stuff. So, but yeah, hopefully this helps, man. Yeah, let's get some feedback. I mean, like I said, I want to keep this call very simple. Now, whether you follow my exact example, that's up to you. I mean, you'll kind of have to figure out what works best, but I wanted to kind of give you just really a quick introduction on really ways to utilize Asana. Now, Asana is not the only project management software out there. I just like it. We use it here at Carrot. We use it for our high-end customers as well. I'm going to be I've been using Basecamp for a while in my own business, and I'm going to be switching over to Asana because one of my favorite parts is the dashboard. I just think that's awesome. I really, really think that's it's awesome. I love it. So it's just a visual. So I can totally kind of come in here and see what exactly is lacking or falling behind. And I've just seen the Carrot team utilize this really beautifully, right? So, hopefully that helps. But again, not just your SEO, but your other marketing you can do as well. Just anything, even in business. If you got your payroll process or whatever, you can use it for so many different projects. So it's really, really cool. All right, let's go ahead and jump into some questions. What's the best way to jumpstart it for getting leads? Is it very slow? How did Ramsey go to see? Yeah, I mean, that's one thing too. Like, here's the thing. Everyone that you're seeing that's doing something with it, they went through the process. Okay. They went through the process. So it's not like they're doing anything special. They just had a head start on you. They just started a lot sooner than you. So the best way to get going with SEO is if you've never done the SEO and you are going to do it yourself, the 3 lead per day training is your perfect guide. It'll walk you through step by step on what you should be doing with SEO. We really simplified it for you. And that's where I would start. Again, it's not a short-term thing. It's not going to happen overnight. It's a long-term process. If you have a budget, consider looking into pay-per-click, because with pay-per-click, you're buying positioning on page 1. Okay. But the online lead generation, as far as the SEO goes, that's going to take time. All right. So it depends on how big your market is, what the competition. It's just going to take time, so it's definitely not a quick start. If it was, everybody be doing it, but the reason why it takes so long and it's a process, because that's where your best leads, in my opinion, are going to come from, so hopefully that helps on that question. Hey, Adrian, do you have a preferred SEO tool provider, SEMrush, Majestic, or Ahrefs? Each one's going to have its own strengths. I personally like SEMrush, just kind of doing keyword search, just kind of getting an overview, but I don't like their backlinks tool. If I do like backlinks, I like Ahrefs, just for backlinks. Okay. Now here's the thing too, not regardless of how good the tools are, as far as how strong they are, they're still going to have their weaknesses. There's no perfect SEO tool out there. Even though I love Ahrefs for the backlinks, it's still not perfect. I'm just saying, out of everybody, I think they're the best. But even with that, they're still not perfect. Okay. If we follow this, what are some? Again, to me, what you have to do is just ongoing. As far as what results, that's a tough one for me to answer. There's no systematic answer to that, because every market's different. The size, the competition, and also what's the state of your market. If you're a seller's market, I mean, marketing overall is going to be tough. Okay. You got to get creative. You might have to start doing some offline stuff. I know a lot of people that do great in cold calling. We know some people that do great on bandit signs. And the online stuff is just one part of their overall marketing. Okay. So it just depends. So there's a lot of variables that go into it. That's why everyone should really know and understand their market, and know how to adjust when their market changes. Okay. So as far as ranking SEO, I mean, it could be 3 months, it could be 6 months, it could be a year. It just depends on your market. Usually the better the market, the longer it's going to take. So what I mean by that is, in some markets, we've had some customers rank like in 2 months and get to page 1 without them doing anything. What we've already done on the website to get you jumpstart got them there. But here's the thing, just because they rank fast doesn't necessarily mean results. Usually if you can rank pretty quick to page 1, it's probably means you're not in a good market. There's no volume and there's just no competition. And there's a reason for that. Okay. So usually the longer it takes, it indicates that it's a good market because obviously it's competitive for a reason. Okay. So if you're in a big metropolitan market like Dallas, Houston, LA, Chicago, Washington, DC, you're probably going to be looking at a 12-month project, but you got to be consistent and you got to be doing the right stuff. Right. So, 3 lead per day training, that covers you there, meaning that by following this, you're going to be doing the right thing. So you're applying the right stuff. The other part is just you being consistent, scheduling. That's why I wanted to discover this, because on the strategy calls I've been doing, a lot of people say, well, how much time do I need to put into it? I said, well, 3-4 hours a week. Well, and then now that without them, to me, that's so tough to do if you're not organized and have a plan. Okay. So, and then, making sure that the right tasks are done, so this project I just showed you is really just to how to organize what has to be done, so hopefully that helps. Yeah, Alex, like I said, just, that's what the strategy calls are for too as well, because everyone's going to be different. Not everyone, it's really not a cookie cutter, approach. Everyone's different. Everyone has a different budget. Now in the perfect scenario, you just go out and hire like our team to do it for you. Now at least that it's getting done, and it's just a matter of time. And we're doing it at full level, high level, right? So, but then you might, then it's tough for someone who's working a part-time job who has to do it themselves because it's not in the budget to pay someone. Now the project is dependent on their consistency. Okay. That's why I wanted to kind of discuss creating a project, because it helps you stay consistent. It helps you stay organized, and you can kind of glance back to see, what you've done, and it helps you make adjustments too down the road. Right. So that's why we use it. No problem, Alex, but reach out anytime, man. That's what we're here for. Set up a strategy call, to help me, to get my help to help break your situation down, to where you're at, and also the market you're in. So, see, we use High-Rise, don't like the expense. I use the Campfire product that along with High-Rise 36 signals. Yeah, I'm really familiar with High-Rise and 37 signals. Like I said, we've been using Basecamp. I love Basecamp. I totally do, but I think we're outgrowing it. I mean, it is very simple, but now so is a cost. So I don't want to use Basecamp as an example because there's a cost to it. Asana kind of really is a win-win. Not only is it free, but it's a great tool. Like our Investor Carrot, we use it as a company. I mean, we're a big company, so this is what we run it by. Please address how to fire people that may be working on this project. Plan for the worst of humanity, hope for the best. Yeah, I mean, this call is really not about hiring and firing. I mean, that's not really my expertise as well. I mean, that's a whole different process. How you vent people. I mean, that's really hard to kind of get into, but I'll say that this project is great once you get past that. Because you have to have whoever you bring into your company, they should be able to adapt to your process and your system. And of course, it's our responsibility to make it as simple and as easy as possible. Because and to me, having a project like this built out, I think it brings accountability. So if your VA is just not meeting deadlines, or your VA is just not following those instructions, and then that's probably just for termination, because at least now you have tangible information that you can go off of, right? So, but yeah, sorry, couldn't really help you as far as helping you how to hire and fire people. That's just not my expertise. So, So you could provide a list of standard tasks with maybe a timeline so we can place to start. Yeah, I mean, what do you mean by, I mean, the best thing to do is what I would do is I would go through, if you guys are following the 3 lead per day training, what I would do is go through it with this open, and then whatever the training takes you through, create tasks for that. So just go through each one. So, I mean, that's pretty much what I did here is, like here, like foundational, what are the stuff that you want to do? Like, make like, like for an example, if you hire VA, that one of the things that we're really big on with Carrot is when you first get started. All right, Carrot guide. So what you can do is maybe one of the first things that you do is have the VA go through the Carrot guide. Because the Carrot guide really helps you set up the foundational part of the website. Implantation. Implement. So what I would probably do is just kind of, I probably would do that. This is probably the first project that would be due. So description, there's a Carrot guide, so what I would do is, so what I would do is assign this to the VA, and then you would assign this to yourself. So it's just little stuff like that is the way I would start. I mean, like I said, the best thing to do is just go through the Carrot guide, or excuse me, go through the 3 lead per day training, and just go through what we tell you to do, and just set tasks. Or even if you go through the Facebook or the profits or post to profits Craigslist training, go through, and then because I think it'd be good for you to kind of know what those tasks are. Then you just go and assign them. If you have a team, or if you're going to be using VAs, or if you're going through the training yourself and you're going to implement, like I said, start with module 1, and then whatever we tell you to do in module 1, just set up tasks for those. So what you could do, instead of saying month 1, what you could do is put module 1, right? Or module 2, instead of doing month by month. Me personally, I like to be on a time frame. So you can do that, because at least that brings more urgency, in my opinion. So you can do it this way too, but I like the month 1, month 2, do it that way as well. Okay. So here's the thing. The important thing is just to get started, right? I mean, and I know that's what you're trying to do, a place to get started, but again, I would just go through each one and then see what needs to be done, and then just force yourself to give yourself, okay, I'm going to get this done in the next week, or next month, whatever that is. Okay. So hopefully that helps, Bob. All right. What is the best way to jumpstart the SEO for getting leads? It's been very slow for me. I think we addressed that one. Cool. All right. So those are only questions. Yeah, I mean, our in-house, as far as SEO for Carrot to do it, I mean, we do, our plan is SEO and pay-per-click. We really don't advertise it. We don't market it. It's really, we do leave it only for, one of the criteria, you have to be doing deals already. Maybe preferably anywhere up to 5 deals a month. The our work is really both SEO and PPC, or Google AdWords, and you're going to be probably starting around $2,500 a month. So it's definitely not cheap, but great investments. And our client so far has been getting returns within the first 2 months. Now that's not coming off of SEO. The early results are coming through from pay-per-click. Okay, so I don't want to mislead thinking that they're getting SEO leads within 2 months. Okay, so definitely not a cheap investment, but well worth it. You have to look at the ROI on that for sure. Okay. Okay. So let me ask you this, guys. I mean, I wanted to make this call short. I wanted to keep it under hour and a half, which we're coming up on. Did this help? Does stuff like this help? Because I know a lot of times we talk about you should do this, you should do that. Did it help showing you a way to organize and how to track those things that need to be done, especially if you have a VA, or really you just need to put yourself on a time frame, or on a system that can help you follow through? So I would love some feedback, guys. Or do you want to just stick to just straight up strategy? Okay. So again, these calls are about you. It's not about me. It's not about Trevor. It's about covering things that's going to help you be successful. Okay. So if you guys want to have us do more calls on tools and resources to help the implementation, please let me know. Would love your feedback. Or if you guys just want to stick just to straight strategy, we can do that as well. Okay. So, because really it was so hard to kind of go through everything. And one of the things we may do, like I said, I'm going to talk to the team, and maybe what we can do is part of it's going to be Asana. Like if there's a way we can do this is, if there's a way we can create a template, because Bob, you had a great question on where do I start, and if we can create like a pre-template with an Asana, that'd be great too. So a lot of it's going to be what Asana allows. See if there's a way that we can import a template from one Asana account to another, and I think that'd be cool. Then our team can kind of create a standard setup, to help you guys get going. So if that's something you guys would be interested in, let me know too as well. I think I totally get what Bob is saying. Like, like where do I start? And sometimes we don't know. Everyone's kind of at the different place, but if we can start a really simple, basic template, I think that'd be awesome. So again, please, any feedback? Did you guys enjoy this call? Was it helpful? Any type of feedback would be awesome. Okay. So, yeah, that's really about it. I don't want to spend too much time on this, too much. So if you, please, just let me know if there's anything else that I can, anything that you feel like you want to cover more. But I just really thought this was important, because I didn't learn any of this until way later in my real estate career. Everything was just kind of like shotgun. Everything was just all over the place. Everything was just kept in my head. And so when I brought someone in, it was so hard to kind of implement because there's just no structure. So, but hopefully this helps. Hopefully this helps. But yeah, please, those of you on this call, please let's get some feedback. This really helps us plan out our upcoming calls. If there's some things you guys want to talk about, send them through, because we're going to start building out for the next 2 months some topics. So if there's some topics you guys want us to cover, right now would be a great time to give your suggestions. Okay, so we're going to be building. I'll be building the rest of the month, the rest of the year. Man, so crazy that we only have 2 more months left. Anything you can recommend, anything you guys want us to talk about more, please send those through suggestions. So 1, feedback from today's call. 2, you guys like discussing more tools and resources versus strategy. And then 3, what are some stuff you guys would love for us to cover on the coaching call in the next 2 months? Okay, so if you guys can do that for me, that would be great. If you guys are kind of on the delayed, if you jumped on the call late, or you're listening to a recording, send those feedback as well. We'll get them. So you don't have to be on the live call just to give feedback. We'll still get them. So if you can do that, that would be awesome. Cool. All right. Well, I'm going to call it a day. Thank you, everyone, for jumping on this call. And a big, big, big thank you for all of those that were on this call for the first time. I really hope we've given you a good glimpse of what we do each and every week. We really want to help our members. We love helping our members succeed. We love our members providing resources, insight to help you guys, I mean, literally crush it with the Carrot system. Okay. So I really hope this was a good call. Hope we gave you a glimpse of what we do each and every week for you. So come back, put it in your schedule to be on these calls each and every week. We cover different training. Like today, we talked about project management software and how to get started with your SEO. Next week, it could be about SEO itself, you know. So, but these are the calls to jump on to get quick training, also quick help. And then we also do live diagnose, meaning that we can, if you have questions on what you're doing or you're stuck on something strategic on strategy, these calls are great to hop on. And we do them live every Tuesday starting at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So again, welcome those that this was your first call, and appreciate you taking the time. But if I can get those feedback coming through, that'd be awesome. And yeah, so enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. And hopefully we will see you on the next week's call. All right. Have a great day. Thanks, guys.